Hey, I just want y'all to think about this real quick. Eventually, your whole entire soul is going to have to evolve. So, what does that incorporate? I mean, think of it like this: you grew up your whole life eating McDonald's, or at least I did. A lot of us did. That was even my first job because the first thing I did, when I had my taste of independence was go work and give it to somebody else because this is how I was programmed and trained. Think of it like this: I have transcended and evolved to a completely different person from who was eating that McDonald's and all that every day. And then even in that, I was striving to become better, even though I was going towards the programmed version of better. The dope part about this is understanding that I still did it. I ranked up, I beat tiers of it. I went through the vegan, the breatharian, the fruitarian phases. I went through all these experiments and journeys, and I found what works for me ultimately, and I created my own understanding for where I am today, so far away from McDonald's. However, there's people today who still live their entire lives eating that and living that as if it was regular and normal. Well, think of it like this: your whole soul has to evolve, your whole spirit is going to have to evolve in this lifetime. So there's a lot of things in your life that are McDonald's that you may not realize. The relationships you're in, the jobs that you're in, the dreams that you have, a lot of those are happy meals. And what you don't realize is that one day, inevitably, at the end, in the highest degree of the truth, which is the spiritual evolution in alignment with God and oneness, you're going to realize that a lot of it is McDonald's mindsets, from spirituality, religions, and all of these things. So I just want to say this to you, is to take it easy on yourself and look at how long we came and how far we came with that McDonald's fuel, and who we became and what we can do, and how much we've changed and how much we've evolved just from moments of awareness. So there's a lot of things that we can judge about one another and even ourselves, but I just wanted to give this message to let people know to relax and to really do what you can to improve and evolve 1% every day, as much as you can today. Just focus on that, because there's a lot of things that you got going on in life that are McDonald's and you don't even know it yet. And as your dreams, visions, and drives and motives in this life clarify to alignment with divine source, oneness, God, being one with God, one with the Father, then what you're going to realize, or the mother, whatever you want to call it, please don't be a slave to words. I just want people to understand that there is no need for judgment. There is need for observation, and intelligence is the ability to adjust your operations based off of learned information. So continue to learn and continue to grow in this age of information, this age of Aquarius, and take all of this that you can onto yourselves, and try to shed all of the McDonald's mentalities that you may have in your mind and in your life. Anything that was programmed from the system to self-destruction, delusion, and ultimately our lower selves governing our being, so we run around like little robots rather than creators and gods and wizards and magicians. We end up as peons or muggles, right, when we're not. It's just the difference between the muggles and the wizards, where that the wizards, they were aware of certain things, whereas the muggles were unaware of many things. And that is, they had knowledge of both worlds, whereas the humans didn't. And I thought that was funny, because to be classified and put yourself in any form of a box is already taking away who you truly are and what you truly are. So I just want that to be said, and I want it to be known. 1% every day. That's the best thing you could do for yourself. Other than that, try not to judge yourself too much, because there are things in your life, as perfect as you may think you are, that are still McDonald's. And there's a lot of things in the relationships with people around, because a lot of things, bro, to where we can say we're perfect or we've done it. Okay, it's not really about that. It's about maintaining. The tree's not like, I've become a tree. It's a maintenance to that, and it's an evolution of that. And then there's a connection to the whole environment with that. And then there's a whole life and death process within that in itself, and its connection with source and return and sourcing from. So, it's a beautiful thing to know that life it is an infinite process. Whereas death would be a finite experience, or to think that you're something smaller than what you really are, is to put yourself into these finite boxes and, levels of death of who you truly are. You've killed pieces of who you truly are as a source by cutting away certain things and putting yourself into these boxes. So a lot of our belief systems, a lot of the ways that we were taught, a lot of our dreams and things that we want to do, things that we teach our kids, things that we get from our kids, all that stuff is, you got to realize how much of that could actually be programming. And it's okay. Just give yourself grace, and that's all I wanted to say with this message. Learn yourself, find your purpose. In this realm, there's objective ways to do that, such as numbers. You didn't create numbers. Numbers, the first layout of numbers in alignment with nature's cycles, your first creation is astrology in its many forms. And there are many forms of astrology for this reason, because it is just using the source code, and then you can have different perspectives on the same one truth infinitely. So you're going to see any language can be created. You're going to see anything can be created from that same source. You see what I'm saying? But one thing that's happening is we're not creating numbers. We're not creating new numbers or new faculties of universal law such as that. So understanding bare bone foundational truths of reality is going to allow us to step and have our foundation, our feet, and our head in a proper space of truth rather than opinions and perspectives. So you're going to want to get scientific. You're going to want to get a little mathematical at times. And that's okay, because that's necessary. And to understand that, astrology and things of this being known as pseudo, these are the things that have existed longer than anything that your children are being taught in school now. These are things that create your language that you use to speak and communicate your disbelief with, is astrology. And it's to play ignorant and to say, well, I don't care. At any level that you don't care about something in your reality, somebody else does, and somebody else is ruling that, therefore taking away a level of your sovereignty yet again. And sovereignty is to be in a completely self-governing state. So I do believe in free will, and I do believe that people can chop themselves into whatever pieces they want to be. But what I believe is that my ultimate fulfillment will come from exuberating my God's will, not just any free will. Free will's there, of course, it's 99%. God's will is that 1%. And those who do God's, here we are. Life is an infinitely generating machine of infinite possibilities. That means that you got to bring consciousness to the table, awareness to the table. When you're experiencing your life, yes, anything can happen, but to choose what happens is your power. And to align and just say, well, whatever happens, or I don't care about certain things, you're throwing yourself into the 99%. Remember, 99% bullshit, 1% bullseye. You have to keep your focus. If you can bring conscious intent into a unconscious reality, you will find something there. And when you can bring this unconscious awareness, and sync it with this conscious awareness, and they become one thing, this is when you and God become one. This is when there is no separation between you and the source. Truly, it's not completely contingent upon grounding and connecting to the earth and eating certain foods and doing certain things. No, it's an awareness. It's an awareness. What we do and what we experience, what we see, are projections of the frequency of energy that we have already been exuberating. And to become aware of that is the key here. And to become aware of that is what unlocks this ability to not only go through new doors, but create doors. And these doors that you create, they should always be in alignment with your purpose. So the ultimate form of creation is what works for you, perfectly, because nobody else can ever create that. All right, so create what works for you perfectly, and do this consciously, and don't worry about how it looks. Energy can take in all forms. Learn how to work with it in all forms. Expand the mind, open the heart, open the chakras. Allow energy to flow through your being for what it truly is, by having an awareness of truth, standing in that, living in that, being rooted in that. And this is what you want to pass on to your children. This type of awareness and understanding, so that they're well equipped with not just what the game is and how the game works. The game changes and things in the games change. Tell them how to play. Show them how to operate. Teach them how to operate within themselves. You know, that is the one thing that I know that wasn't taught to us in schools and in my generation, was how to operate. And if you had the lucky case of parents, great, but a lot of people didn't, and it wasn't normal in societal terms from at least where I come from. So in San Diego, California, born and raised, and everything else to that degree. But anything is possible. In this time and space where we came in, it wasn't taught to us and given to us. And a lot of traps and snares and mental chains and financial chains and all these different forms of control exist, and they exist in us subconsciously. And it was not always like this, but it's like this now. It has taken form through technology. It has taken form through you. And your intelligence, a lot of your intelligence is artificial. So you may be the AI that you fear so much. And rather than being organic, and you have the ability to switch modes. You're like a hybrid. So you're like a robot that can be programmed in the physical realm, but as who you truly are in the astral being is a programmer. You can have organic access to all information. Okay? And know this to be true. You know this to be true. So this is the math and understanding and knowledge that is the foundation of the access to energy that we all use in this day-to-day reality. And all the technology that we use is founded upon these numbers and these equations and foundational truths that I am speaking on today. And yes, this video is completely in the moment, completely inspired, but that's just how it works for me. So I'll be saving this, putting this on the internet for whoever needs it, and whenever it may be relevant, but I do know that it is necessary information. And I just keep my mouth shut for a very long time, and when I feel like it's time to say something relative to where we are collectively, I will. I gain messages every day, all day, doing from who I am, but that's an understanding of me. Don't worry about me. Get to know you. Focus on you. Tap into you. You have so many gifts and abilities. This is the infinite video game. It's a beautiful thing if you would truly understand what it is, and you would really enjoy it a lot more if you did understand the truth. But they teach you to fear the truth because they think it's going to ruin the game. No, that you're not. That you ain't even in it. You don't even know what this is yet. Just wait. It gets so beautiful. It gets so beautiful once you start to really play the game with the right perspective. Okay, you'll start to realize your value system just need a little tweaking and a little shift. Everybody realizes this one day. And I just want to let you guys know it's okay. Grow 1% every day. Take your time, but know the truth and know that that's where we're going. All right. Love wins. Soular, Amor. You can find me on YouTube, anywhere. I'm always dropping music. I'm going to keep dropping more music. Soular, Amor, Soular. You know how to say my name. Amor, Ray. Love King. Soular, Love King. But it's so much deeper than that. I digress. Oh man, I'm very easy to connect with. If you do want to book a reading with me, I don't really do that much anymore. But if you feel called to, give it a shot. You never know what can happen. I look at it as a very priceless thing, so we shall see. Anyway, love y'all. Peace. Do what you got to do for you. No one else can do that for you. 99% bullshit, 1% bullseye. Keep your focus. I'll show you.